Dialogue with Deidre. My guest today, Bobby Allen with the City of Memphis and Bentley Green. Bentley, I got it right this time, with Black and Veatch. Welcome to Dialogue with Deidre.
Thank you.
So let's talk about, Bobby, what is Sarp10?
Sarp10 is the name of the program that we have with the city. It stands for the Sewer Assessment and Rehabilitation Program. And the 10 is for 10 years because it's a 10-year program. Basically what it is, over the next 10 years, the city will be conducting an assessment of the entire sanitary sewer system. And in areas that we find as necessary to be done, we will conduct rehabilitation efforts.
Okay, so why are we doing this, Bobby?
This is a result of what's called a consent decree or an agreement with the US EPA that the city negotiated. It is very similar to what many cities across the country are doing. And as a result of that, we implemented this program.
Okay. And so Bentley, as the program manager for Sarp10, what is that going to entail?
We're basically going to be implementing the contracts that will consist of the condition assessment portion of it. That's where we essentially go in and determine what the condition of the sewer system is. And then from that, we will develop rehabilitation plans that will ultimately improve the system such that we can alleviate and hopefully reduce the number of sanitary sewer overflows that the city has seen over the years.
So Bentley, in terms of Black and Veatch, tell me a little bit about Black and Veatch. Your company's been around a while and you have a specialty in this area?
Yes, Black and Veatch has been around since 1915. We're an older company, started in Kansas City, and we have offices globally now and a workforce of over 10,000 folks. And program management is one of our specialties, and we're implementing consent decree driven program management programs for reducing CSO and SSO, which is combined sewer overflow, sanitary sewer overflow, reduction programs across the country.
And so, Bobby, in terms of your position with this project, what is your responsibility?
My responsibility is one, to serve as a liaison between Bentley and Black and Veatch and the city to coordinate efforts that we have with other operations in the city, and obviously to manage the contract, from the financial standpoint.
Okay, make sure that all the money's tight.
The money's tight.
Okay.
We're getting what we pay for,
Exactly.
and there's definitely no concern there. Black and Veatch is doing an excellent job. Wonderful.
That's good to hear. And so, Bentley, in terms of, I know that this fall, I think last fall rather, there was a pilot program.
Correct.
To just kind of kick off the project, correct?
Correct. Currently, the city is waiting on EPA to officially start the clock for the 10-year program. Although the consent decree has been executed, there are some formalities that have to be approved and processed before the clock actually starts ticking. And so while we're waiting on that clock to actually start ticking, the city decided to go ahead and implement the basic structure for the program management team. And so as part of that, we elected to implement a pilot program in what's called the priority areas, which were negotiated in the consent decree, to basically just run through the first steps of what this condition assessment process would be. These were areas that were identified during the negotiations of the consent decree as being older and having a higher probability of sanitary sewer overflows. And so we went in and took a look at that, and we're just now completing that work. And and that's a precursor to implementing the overall program.
Okay, and what areas of the city are those two pilot areas in?
Those are in the two areas are what's called the Cane Creek Drainage Basin. Those are down in the southern part of the city, and then there's a smaller area out in the Hickory Hill area.
Okay, so pretty much South Memphis and Hickory Hill.
Right.
Okay, and so, Bobby, can you talk to me about what actually goes on when they go into those neighborhoods? How do you start the assessment process?
Okay, yes, it's sort of a three-pronged process for the most part. Depending on what we find, we may do some additional work, but we do what's called a sewer survey. We go out and we look at every manhole. We pull the manhole, we assess it, we take photographs of it, and we evaluate to see what kind of conditions it's in. We also do what's called smoke testing.
Okay.
Okay, I know that's a
We
biggie.
we're gonna talk about
We're
some
gonna
smoke
some
testing.
smoke testing. And in a nutshell, what that is, when you have a manhole here
Uh-huh.
and a manhole here, and you block them off. And then in one of the manholes, you will blow smoke in, just and force it into the pipe that runs between it. It's like blowing smoke in a straw. Right, now, what that does is it lets you know where leaks in the system are, because the smoke will rise up in those leaks. Now, if everything is working properly, when you see this smoke testing being done, you will see smoke coming out of the vent of your house or
Okay.
your commercial building. That's supposed to happen
Okay.
because every structure has a vent that vents your bathrooms, your kitchens, etc. So you want to have that. So again, if it's working properly, the smoke will come out of the top of that vent on top of your house.
But if it's not working properly.
If it's not working properly and you have an issue with your plumbing, typically what that is there's a problem with what's called the P-trap. And if you look on your sink, it's sort of a U-shaped pipe there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the P-trap is, and that is designed to stay full of water, so
Oh.
gas cannot come up out of the sewer system and get into your house.
Okay.
If that P-trap gets dry, so if you don't use a sink very often, we would recommend you run water in it just for 10 or 15 seconds just to fill up that trap every few days so the sewer gas cannot come into your home. Now, the other problem is you may not have a P-trap when your home was constructed. They may
So
not
would that
have
happen like in older homes, older structures maybe?
Typically, although I mean it can happen in newer structures, the plumber just for whatever reason doesn't put it in. But one thing that we have seen with some of the older homes, some of the other cities have seen that, is the older homes did not have central air conditioning.
Okay.
They had the window units. So when they came in and retrofitted to put in a central unit, they should have put a P-trap in there for your condensate on your air conditioner.
Okay.
Sometimes they didn't do that, and that's tied to your gas vent, and so that would allow gas to come in that way. But the smoke is non-toxic,
Okay.
it's non-staining. If it does get in your house, the best thing to do is just open the doors and windows, have a house fan, you can turn the house fan on. If our crew is still there, you can holler at them, and they'll bring a fan up to try to help you vent it out. But it's
Okay.
not harmful to you or to your pets.
Okay, that's good to know because people are so concerned these days about anything. Environmental issues
Right.
are a big problem in most communities, and so if you're seeing smoke coming up out of your sink, then then you might
It's
be
cause for alarm.
concerned.
You're right.
Exactly.
You're gonna be concerned.
So that's good to know. Now, talk to me about safety precautions in terms of should one of the workers be allowed to come in your home when they're out in the neighborhoods, or Bentley would they request to be able to go in the backyard or inside a home?
Right, that's a very good question. And all of the contractors that are working under the Sarp10 program should present themselves as very professional. They won't ask to come into your home. They should never ask to come in your home. If anyone presents themselves as a Sarp10 member and does ask to come into your home, then it's probably someone that is impersonating someone. So
Okay.
obviously you don't want that, and we don't expect any of our contractors to do that. So if anyone for any reason were to do that, you would obviously be aware that was a situation that was not consistent with our program. There are some sewer systems, or some branches of the sewer system that are on private property. When that, and the city of Memphis maintains easements to maintain those. So whenever those condition assessment crews are needing to get access to those areas, they will come to your home and ask for permission and let you know what they're doing. So you're not ever surprised that somebody's out walking in your backyard or so forth. In general, yeah, no one should ever be intrusive or come into your home or ask for any kind of payment for anything that's being done.
That's good to know, Bentley,
Right.
because these days you just can't be
Exactly.
you have to be careful. You just really have to be careful.
Right.
So like with Memphis Light Gas and Water, if one of their employees wants access to the property, they normally have some type of identification. Will the Sarp10 team have identification in terms of a badge or ID
Correct.
so people can know this is what the badge looks like? And don't be afraid, I just need to get in your backyard?
Right. All members of our team will have identification badges, and they will have vests as well as hard hats that identify. All of the vehicles will have decals on them that identify them as being a member of the Sarp10 team.
Okay, that's wonderful to know. So when we come back, we're going to continue our discussion about the Sarp10 program. It's going to be around a while, so you need to, remember Sarp10. So when, a cruise in your neighborhood, you'll know what it's about. So we'll continue our dialogue when we come back. You're watching Dialogue with Deidre.